This is Agent Confidential. I'm Faux Jimmy Sexton. And if you want to understand where the real leverage lives in college football, you have to look past the headlines. Earlier today, I said my friends in Texas, Tennessee, and Florida ask, what is a state income tax? That wasn't a joke. That's leverage. For 2 years, we've argued about NIL money, collectives, boosters, chaos, transfer portal drama. What almost nobody is saying out loud is this. The next edge in NIL isn't louder donors. It's structure. And structure always wins long term. When NIL first hit, it was messy. Everyone was reacting. Nobody knew the rules. Schools were improvising. Athletes were testing boundaries. That's normal in early markets. But markets don't stay chaotic forever. They mature. And when they mature, optimization begins. And we're seeing it now. Mississippi discussing tax positioning to make the state more attractive to athletes. Zero income tax states like Texas, Tennessee, and Florida already sitting in a different position. Texas power brokers are organizing structure and influence. Coaching contracts negotiated cleaner, especially around buyouts and offsets. These are not isolated stories, they're signals. The market is moving from noise to design. Here's the part nobody slows down to say. A $1 million NIL deal is not the same in every state. Not even close. I once had a boss who told me, I work for 2 reasons, to have a good time and net after taxes. At the time, it sounded funny. It wasn't. It was discipline. Because headline numbers are noise. Net is reality. In Texas, Tennessee, and Florida, there is no state income tax. That changes the math. In other states, that same deal looks very different after state taxes. Same headline number, different take home. Agents don't evaluate headline numbers. We evaluate what survives after structure. Talent doesn't just move towards money, it moves towards net money. And net money is policy. This is not really about tax rates, it's about friction. Markets reward environments with less friction. Less tax friction, less contract friction, less exit friction, less uncertainty. When a buyout clause is clean, friction drops. When offset language is tight, friction drops. When a tax code allows athletes to keep more of what they earn, friction drops. Programs that can reduce friction win. Not because they are louder, because they are smoother. Early NIL was emotion. Now it is optimization. States thinking strategically, legislatures paying attention, programs realizing infrastructure matters more than one big check. When Mississippi even considers adjusting tax positioning, that tells you something. This is no longer an experiment. It is institutional. When state-level policy becomes part of recruiting strategy, the market has matured. That is a different phase. Look at what's happening in coaching contracts. Buyouts negotiated cleaner. Offset language scrutinized. Nobody debates the headline number anymore. They debate the mechanics. That same shift is happening in NIL. The real advantage is not who yells the loudest about collective money. It is who understands the mechanics. Mechanics compound. Noise fades. This changes recruiting. It changes how agents evaluate opportunity. It changes how athletic directors think about positioning. It may even change how states think about economic development. That is not political. That is structural. If high-level athletes are mobile economic actors, states will compete for them through facilities, through branding, through policy. And once policy enters the conversation, this is not chaos. It is strategy. Every mature market follows the same pattern. Excitement, excess, optimization. We are now entering optimization. The programs that win long-term will not simply have money. They will design cleaner systems, cleaner contracts, cleaner tax environments, cleaner decision-making, speed plus structure. That is the formula. The NIL era is not collapsing. It is consolidating. The edge will not belong to the loudest programs. It will belong to the ones that reduce friction at every level. In contracts, in taxes, in structure, in decision speed. This is not chaos. It is consolidation. And in mature markets, leverage always moves upstream. I'll see you next time.